Welcome to part 21 of my build of the quarter-scale Jerry Bates Cessna 172 Skyhawk. This video is a slideshow with a voiceover of some pictures I took while building it. Day 124. It became painfully obvious that I could not make a decent fiberglass cowling for the Cessna, so I asked Vic Castellan to send me one, which he did very promptly. It fit the front of my Cessna quite well. The height or length of the cowl is very good, but I had to mark and cut away a strip from each side and an air outlet from the bottom according to the plans. I used my Proxxon grinder to cut and sand away the parts that should not be there. And here you can see that the cowling is very nearly fitting where it should be. I only have to sand away the odd millimeters to have a complete fit, and then I can glue the missing parts to the front of the firewall. Day 125. I placed the cowling on the fuselage using the back ring of the spinner and then fasten it down with 3 screws. I may not need more, but as I had to cut the bottom of the cowl to make it fit correctly, I may have to put in 2 more. Here you can see under the cowling. The split I had to make is about 5 millimeters at the back, and I've glued a plate of 0.3 millimeter pro skin underneath. I also made the carb air intake from balsa and pro skin and glued it in place. Day 126. The landing lights on TFFRU are in the engine cowling, so I had to cut a hole in it and paste in a bottom on which the lights will be placed. Epoxy glue with micro balloons is used to glue this in and to form some of the fairing. Then I took the cowling outside and sprayed some primer. Now I need to fill all the pinholes with some filler and then sand all the primer off before I spray another coat of primer. Day 127. The whole of the morning was spent sanding down the primer with a 320 grit wet sandpaper. Then I sprayed primer again. The cowling is just about ready for paint now. I just need to fill a few holes and then sand some more. This time it will be P400 wet sandpaper. Then I will make up the plate joints, hatches and hinges. Day 128. I used a 3-view drawing to place the plate joints on the cowling. This shows great big hatches and 2 hinges along the cowl, but after coming home and looking through my photos of the TFFRU, I realized that neither the hatches nor the hinges are supposed to be there. I will fix this tomorrow. The joints are made by putting down at least 3 layers of tape and then smearing filler where the joint is higher. Here I've put filler on all the joints I thought should be there. This will have to dry until tomorrow, and then I can sand the filler down to the tape. Day 129. I removed surface details that should not be there. Then I glued a small hatch in place that I saw in a photograph. I also sanded down the filler along the tapes, and then I removed the tapes. Here I've sprayed the primer back on. The plate joints are fairly obvious now. I used a glue applicator to put down lines of rivets and screws. And finally, I sprayed with white. Day 130. The light blue colour has now been added to the cowling. Day 131. Today I masked for the dark blue colour and sprayed it on the cowling. Now I just need to weather it some and put the fake lights on. To make the lights, I used a luggage strap and some modelling clay. I pinched the strap and used it to make 2 indents into the clay. This I then filled with epoxy glue. Now I just need to wait for this to harden. Actually, this looks like the snout of a pig with some cold. Day 132. The cowling has now been fitted. The only thing I need to do now is get a couple of batteries for the RC gear and the ignition, connect everything up correctly and balance the model. I am therefore declaring that this build is finished after 132 days, typically 3 hours each time or around 400 hours. Here you can see the landing lights I made. They're not very good. I'm getting a better set actually. And the heads of the engine through the openings of the cowling. Really cool.